right, Shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites here in the Great Millstone branch of Raleigh, North Carolina. But before we get all started, we want to first and foremost give our praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son,
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and bless the elect of Israel. And we're just going to get straight into it, man. Prophets getting raised up to prophesy. The real prophets. You know, we're not here to do sideshows for you. We ain't going to sit here, sign into our Patreon. You know, we ain't going to ask you to send us no money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do what the Lord commands us to do, man. We know He's going to take care of us.
That's right.
You know? And what's on the menu? Jeremiah 28:8, man. Wars, rumors of wars. Again, prophecy, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Let's start with that. You know, Jeremiah 28:8.
Yes, sir.
You know, and because that's what the true prophets going to be doing, man. They're not going to be prophesying of land grabs. All right. You know, make sure you, pretty much monetarily, man.
That's just all about money.
That's what it all boils down to with these guys, man. You know, these are these old wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, man. You know. You got it.
Yep. It's Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil.
Say before, and what we're saying before is the evils. All right, it's getting ready to befall this place, man. America. All right, all the ancient prophets before old time prophesied of destruction, of evils, of wars. All right, and this captivity, this current age is no different, man. The men of the Lord gonna wake up and gonna come out and prophesy, man, that we're not living in good times. Okay, we live in times of war, evil, pestilences, nation rising against nation. That's the times we're living in. But yeah, our people want to sit back and, try to see how they can overcome the system, how they can pretty much escape the curses. But what we're doing is the way to escape it, man. All right? Coming back to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai. You don't have anything else to read again?
Yep. I think I see it 30.
Yeah.
But next verse. Jeremiah 28 and verse 9. It says, the prophet which prophesied of shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, have truly sent him.
Yeah, so the prophet, which is a lot of these pastors in these churches, they are prophesying of peace. That if peace comes, you know the Lord was truly dealing with them. Right? But they're not speaking according to the word. Isaiah 8:20 says, to the law, to the testimony, they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. Sorry? So if there's no light in them, guess what? They're gonna put in fillers. All right? You know, they're gonna say what feels good to them, what they want to happen for the people.
Those diviners, dreamers, prophesying deceits, saying peace, pushing prosperity doctrine. That ain't nothing new, man. You know, this year you're gonna be straight, the next year you're gonna be better than the last year, and the following year you're gonna be better, man. We're gonna get more wine, more corn, more increase. This is gonna be your year, black man, same old stuff being sold to our people. While again, as the true prophets of the Lord are warning you what's really coming, man. And y'all getting ready to run us off the block. Ultimately, it's time of your judgment, your destruction, man. When the Lord removes the prophets off the corner, it ain't nothing but bad news, man. And it's only gonna be bad news from here, man. Get ready for again what's on the slate for the Lord's agenda, being again these words from the past. But I got that Isaiah 30.
See if I can find it real fast.
Yeah.
This is what's that scripture? Jeremiah 28.
Yeah.
It's 6. I'll bring it out since I'm right here.
Yeah.
This is the book of Jeremiah. You may think about this.
Okay.
Chapter 28, verse 6. Even the prophet said among the Lord do so. Hold on. No, that's not it. Yeah. It's not it. Give me a second. I want to bring this out if I got that.
Yeah. You know how
it's like it talks about the prophet that prophesied peace. there's not gonna be any peace, famine.
Yeah, the same prophet. Yeah. If I can find it.
Yeah. But going back
by the same word.
Yeah, exactly. The water. What we're going into is that the prophets of old prophesied of bad times. Sign I don't even be paying attention to. The prophets on the highways and byways. Men that look just like you. All right? Remember the Lord said he set forth his apostles last, man. The teachers, the leaders. All right? That's why Christianity is a bunch of BS, man. Coming out, and what the prophets are saying is coming to pass, man. All right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let's pull the dust off that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks so.
I'm gonna get this Jeremiah 23. In the meantime,
Yeah.
go to you.
If we can't find it, we'll
Yeah. So this is Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Yep, Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
Yeah, and you do that by not giving them the truth, man. You're not visiting Israel, Yasharala, right? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners with the truth, man. Because ultimately, you wasn't given it, and we understand that, man. The Lord said to deceive and deceiver are his, but guess what? You're going to have a punishment for that. It's going to be a judgment. And that's just cold, man. That's why the Lord's brought you into this thing. It'll be all appreciated, man. Each and every day the Lord puts breath in us. And you worse off than someone who never even knew this truth, man.
So Jeremiah 23, verse 2, it says, Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them.
Yeah, you scattered them away with your lies, man. With your own vain breakdowns and thoughts of what the scriptures are saying. All right? With that gag order you got.
501c3.
Yeah, the 501c3. It might as well be an Edomite up there teaching. It might as well be a heathen, but I be right in that heathen state of mind.
That's Jake talking about hell. We're supposed to have escaped all that
right.
BS from the so-called Christian shit we've been taught in the world, man. But here it is again, Jake bringing it back around, man. There's hell. You're going to go to hell. You're going to burn in hell if you don't keep the commandments. Come on, man. They just glorified Christian pastors with an Israelite twist, man.
Right.
But finish Jeremiah 23, verse 2, it says, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord Yahweh Shai. Going to them hirelings, you see the evil coming, and you start backpedaling, man.
Yep.
You start hightailing. You start getting that plane ready. It's a motorcycle demon down here.
Yo, it really is.
It is like
it really is.
everywhere. There's old heads on these damn bikes with no helmet or nothing. But again, that's supposed to be our old heads. Old heads supposed to be going to elders, man.
That's right.
They're supposed to have wisdom. They still acting like young niggas, man. But I got that Jeremiah.
But the Peter Pan, I don't want to grow up.
Yeah, I don't want to grow up. That's them, man.
Yeah. So, finish your statement.
Yeah, that was it. I want that Jeremiah. There ain't gonna be no sword.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I want to get what's the spirit flow?
All right, yeah. I'll hold it. Yeah. It's Jeremiah 14 and verse 13. Then said I, Bashem Yahushai, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place.
So, Jake is calling our Lord and there's no thing up under the sun. These same guys are back now in their same lots doing the same thing over and over again, man. All right, but we're going to see. We're going to see.
Watch out,
Hey, Zay. Back it up. Yeah. He back it up. Watch out, bro.
Jeremiah 14 and verse 14.
Yep.
Then the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, said unto me, it says the prophets prophesy lies in my name.
Yeah, prophesy lies in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Everything's going to get back to normal. All right? There's no such thing as Jacob's trouble. We already went through Jacob's trouble.
Right.
You don't think slavery was enough? You don't think the Jim Crow law, all these things was enough? like Scripture say in Matthew 20, times coming, it's not going to be a time like it, man. You know?
Yep. Jeremiah 14:14. Then said the Lord Yahweh. Then the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not.
Yep.
Neither have I commanded them, neither spoken unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart.
Yeah, so give me Sirach 3:24 real fast, since you said that. All right, because their mind has been overthrown with wickedness, man. Okay? You got it? Bring it out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, and verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Yeah, that's a lot of these false leaders, man. All right? They have been thrown off by their own vain opinion, what they feel the Lord is saying. All right? The Lord speaking through me, all that bullshit, man. You know? Yeah, we can see it, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might move it, though. But, that's Jake, man. Lost my train of thought. What was that, though?
Yeah, it's just nigga-isms, you know, which you learn from Esau. Crying out, putting a hand out, you might, like, a nigga let you hold something, and he gonna ask some shit. 2 minutes later, you know, or he gonna hound you for it.
Yep.
You know, when you give, you ain't supposed to think about it.
Right.
You know, you're not supposed to acquire it back. It's a gift. You know, but you know, going to how Jake moved, and that's how he is in the world, covetous.
Yeah.
You know, never enough, never satisfied, always in the flesh. I never get enough seeing. You know, you got the Beamer, but now you want the Bentley. You know, you got the Bentley, now you want the Rolls. You know,
right.
The Rolls enough, now you want a goddamn airplane. You know.
And Jake gonna do whatever they got to do to get it. You know.
It's like the big bro. That was wrong. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13 and 3. The rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee.
Yeah, that's talking about Esau, right? But guess what? Our people have learned his ways, all right? And they follow him. You know, they see him at the top. This is how he's done things. And Jake's gonna fall right in line, man. This got to be the way. But actually, it's the wrong way, man. You know? Was you holding anything?
I had that last verse on Isaiah.
Yeah, read that last verse. We're gonna jump into something else also.
This is Isaiah 30 and verse 13. It says, therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Yeah, it's gonna come suddenly. You know, that's why the scriptures say, make no tarrying and turn to the Lord. You know? Just like it, bro. And put that off for today. Because your judgment will come in an instant, man. You know?
Yep, and it says swelling at a high wall. I mean, it's a buildup, man. You know, when something's swelling, you see it, you know, poking out, especially, you know, you go into water, you know, eventually you can only hold back so much water, man, until it bursts through, man. You know, and that's judgment. We're just talking about letting judgment flow as waters, right? That's how the Lord gonna be in these streets, man. It's gonna be just a flood of judgment, man. Especially really going to the missiles, man. Literally, it's gonna be a flood of hot fire, hot wind, man. To blow all this evil, debauchery, abominations, this filth on the earth, man. Like a broom, man. The Lord was gonna sweep this place clean.
She said that Sirach 5?
Yeah, make them scary.
Nah, it's like Ezra's 5. I think it is.
Ezra's 5.
At the top.
Yeah. It's second Ezra's 5 in verse 1. It says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
Backing up what you were just saying, man. You know, this bubble is about to burst, man. The Lord is tired of wickedness. And you wicked Israelites, right? Once again, through process of elimination, you so-called Negroes, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, all right, you Boricuas, Tainos, Haitians, right? Choctaw, all right, Blackfoot, Lumbee, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves, the Lord's gonna destroy your ass, man. Black. Can't stand when niggas say, well, I'm black. You know? You're gonna be taken in a great number, man. Makes me think about Psalm 91. You know, 1,000 at this side, 10,000, but it's not gonna come nigh thee. Matter of fact, hold that. Psalm 91, you got it.
Yep. 2 Edges 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens,
Which are the signs.
yep, it says, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden.
Yeah, the way of the understanding, the comforter is gonna be hidden, man. And we live in those times, man. Right? Censorship, you know, everything that comes out of somebody's mouth is offending someone. Let's look at to a point where you can't even look at nobody soon come. Oh, he's undressing me. He's effing me in his mind. You can see where things are going.
That's how I be at the gym and shit. You can't,
Yeah.
you know, they gonna revoke your gym and shit. Yep. Finishing 2 Edges 5 and 1, it says, and the land shall be barren of faith.
Yeah. Because what? It's going to get that bad. You know, it makes me think about a vision I had, man. It's funny. I don't know if I was getting like locked up in a room or whatever, but it was a bunch of people with me. And it was like a mixture of people. And everybody was like, what should we do? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, just pray. Everybody in the room looked at me like, what? Like, who is this? Who is he? You know what I'm saying? And I was going out of the window and I was like looking back like this, looking at him still inside there, you know.
That's tough.
But you know, people are not gonna have faith in praying. All that's gonna go out the window, man. They gonna say the Lord has forsaken us. We got to do our own thing now. But actually, yes, the Lord has forsaken a lot of you. You just haven't realized it yet.
Yeah, you think about, you know, they say mass extinction events, but they talk about it was however tens of thousands, million years ago. Well, you know, after all that, you know, this is about to be a mass extinction event coming up real soon, man. Is it water or something? No, I'll take anybody.
One for the
One that's close to real mass extinction event, man.
No, you get Chris, get in here.
But the Lord gonna leave a few. That's gonna be that elect remnant, elites of the other nations, man. Because they, you know, whoever else don't have to suffer from, you know, nuclear fallout and destruction. You know, if you're a rebellious Israelite, you're gonna be cut down and hewn down. If you're a heathen, you're gonna be put in slavery, man. You know, but it says the people shall be taken in a great number. That number is literally billions, man. Not millions, billions with a B. You know. And because why? Because of the Lord's anger, man. You know, you talk about dinosaurs and asteroids. You gotta worry about missiles.
Right.
You know, that's you. Damn dinosaurs looking at an asteroid. That's y'all, man. Zombieland. Missiles coming to Zombieland, so-called America. Babylon the Great. You had Trump and Putin meeting each other. Right. You know. And what's the name? Putin talking about, I see you in Moscow in English. You know what I'm saying? You know, some mob shit.
Yep.
You know. But again, in the meanwhile, again, all this politics going on, all these distractions, you know, and what Jake is focused on. Oh, you heard about so and so get signed to this team?
Right.
Have him in.
Right.
I don't care about other niggas' money. You know, he got martial law in DC.
Right.
And Jake talking about football. I can't wait till football start. You know.
Right, because they are the world. You know, they can't. They're not living through our lenses, our spiritual lenses, man. You know, so they can only their brain capacity can only take them so far in deep thought, man.
Destroy for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep. There's some more on this edge.
Yeah, finish on the Ezra, yeah.
It's 2 Edges 5 and verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest.
Yeah, so iniquity is going to increase, man. More than which thou hast seen. You gotta think about it. It was during Ezra's time, man. know? How much for it now? You see Jake just getting on elevators.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got women just outright deleting their, well, putting their babies in trash bags and putting them in dumps and people finding them.
Right. Yeah. Slam dunking their baby.
Yeah.
Off the glass. But that's because wickedness has been normalized. And why? Because the man is sins and power. That only is accepted in a wicked nation or a wicked setup or kingdom, man. You quoted Surah 10 earlier, man.
Yep.
It's allowed, you know?
Yep.
I mean, you can't go around stabbing people, you know, but you get thrown in that jail. I mean, it's all part of the system. He don't care, man.
Yep.
You know? Because why? Because this is him, you know, forwarding the work of the devil, man. You know?
That's right.
And again, it's going to lead to a tip-over point where the Lord is going to say, enough's enough, man. You know, when we're talking about the wrath, the indignation of Yahweh Shai, it's not like the nigga that get mad because you stole his chips or whatever. He took his parking spot, somebody road raging. We're talking about a God, man.
That's right.
You know, the real God, the ultimate, you know, power Yahweh Shai, bringing godly wrath, man. That's not gonna be pretty.
Look, the nose and numbers of your fucking head, man. Like,
you want to play with him?
You want to exact, man.
I'll read one more verse.
Yep.
It's 2nd Edges 5, verse 3. In the land that thou seest now to have root, shall thou see wasted suddenly.
Yeah, and this place gonna be wasted suddenly, man. You know, Scripture says it's gonna take 1 hour. You know, everything you see, all the glitz, the glamour, all your Starbucks, you know, all your car, everything you see is gonna be destroyed. That's why it tells you in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, what should our conduct be? Yeah. You know? Is that in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can go down to verse 8.
What does Spirit tell you?
Salt waters and it's 2nd Edges 5. 2nd Edges 5 and verse 8. It says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and fire shall be oft sent out again.
It's gonna be confused because the knowledge gonna be hidden. You know? People wondering what the hell they should do. Well, you know, those guys were saying that chip is the MOTV. You shouldn't take it. But what the hell are we gonna do? I mean, we only got a can of corn left in the cabinets. I mean, you know, rent is due. What are we gonna do? And that's when you gotta take a leap of faith.
Yeah, big faith. That's what I was about to say. That. Yeah.
You got it.
Yep. This finishing 2nd Edges 5 and verse 8. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Yeah, so everything's gonna be out of whack, man. Which you know, that's happening now, man. You watch these nature shows, you know, these animals is all bugged out. They lost. They've been following this pattern for 1,000 years, and the shit's all fucked up. You know, birds flying around, they getting hit with radiation, satellites, you know, whales, you know, dealing with all type of shit, man. Coming up, beach themselves full of trash.
Yep.
You know.
Hey, look, why are birds, squirrels, critters? Why are you running eating out the back of a fast food parking lot trash thing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Eating GMO French fries.
Right.
This place, yo, man, everything's out of course.
Yep. 2nd Edges 5, verse 9. And the salt waters shall be found. Friends shall destroy one another. Yep. So you know, salt, you know, is bitter, man. You know, salt water you can't really consume like that. You maybe get a pinch of it. We talking about the ocean. You can't drink that stuff, man. You know, and going to again found is sweet, meaning you're gonna be having a little bit of truth and a lot of lies, man. You know, not enough, because salt water is dehydrates you, man. You know, so you're gonna tell you in this light and you know repent, turn back, keep the commandments. But what about this MOTB? Oh, don't worry about that. That's salt water, man. Being found in the bitter.
Yeah, you may think about what did IJ say? In your honor, you think God cares if you put a chip inside your body? You know?
Yep. And they saying that now under no type of pressure. You know? You see how they acted in that seabed. You know? And what's gonna come is gonna be way worse than that, man. You know?
And he was more. He said they're gonna give you the best.
They're gonna give you the best. Yeah. Juice.
They need you to be their workers. They need you to do. They don't need to put juice in us.
Right.
To do that. Hell, they got robots now. they really don't need most people to be working, man.
Yeah. They don't need people. They don't need people working. They don't need people thinking. They got them people on the TV telling you what to think.
Yep.
You know, them props and them agents, provocateurs. You know, set up leaders. You know, in the payroll of the elites. Because, you know, again, you go into how Esau operates, you best believe these camps are infiltrated, man. Mm-hmm. Even our apostles and elders say there's agents in GMS, man.
Yep.
You know, because this is how they operate, man. They gather the intel. But they ain't going to get nothing from us. We just teach the word and go to hell home, man. What the hell you going to find?
Yep.
You know? But again, these other groups that just spawn out of nowhere, these upstarts, you know, they got no track in history. Like, who was this guy? You know? This guy was in the meetings at the FBI, CIA getting trained, man. You know, how to act, the mannerisms.
Yep.
You know, to deceive you, man. That's how this devil operates, man.
And the Lord, that's the brother right there, man.
Okay, that's all.
And the Lord's going to destroy him too, man.
Okay.
Let's believe the Lord's going to destroy all you agents, man. Everything you love, care about, the Lord's going to destroy it. Your women, your children, anybody close to you. You're talking about the king of terrors, man. The Lord's going to fuck you agents up, man. Watch us, but the angels are watching your ass. Laugh, joke, whatever. We know y'all watching us, but the angels are watching you. And y'all know what the angels look like. Black. Very black. You know? Yeah. He made it clear to her, yo. He bent his old ass down and said, no, very black.
You ain't sound like me for some books.
Yeah, right. You know?
There was niggas up there.
That's right, man. You know?
Second Edges 5 and verse 10, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found.
And yet not be found, man. Gonna be sought of many. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them too. But guess what? It's gonna be a lot late for you, man. You know?
And that's always Jake. A minute too late.
A day late.
A day,
and
$1
a dollar short.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll read it again.
Yeah.
It's Second Edges 5 and verse 10. It shall be sought of many, and yet not be found.
Shall be sought of many, and yet shall not be found, man. All right? There's gonna be a lack of getting misunderstanding, man. You gotta think about it. The Lord said he's gonna have his men's tongue clean to the roof of their mouth. So he's not gonna be a reprover anymore to our people, man. You know?
Yep. Finishing Second Edges 5 and verse.
Yeah, move that out the way. Yeah, and get in. Say, move that out the way. What does that say?
Instant order. They got a pyramids of Egypt over here.
Yeah, I know, right? But we ain't gonna look at it like that.
It's 5 verse 10.
That gets toward the heart.
Catch it straight. It's Second Edges 5 verse 10. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found.
Yep.
Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth.
Yeah. There's not gonna be any answers, man. So people just gonna lean into their own understanding of things. It's gonna be all hell and chaos, destruction, or evil running rampant, man. It makes you think about 2 Kings 15 chapter, man. Sedition among men, invading one another, fightings.
And that's what the word means. Incontinency.
Yep.
It says having or showing a lack of self-restraint or.
That's right.
Yep. It says another one. It says unable to control keeping urine or feces in the body.
Ooh.
That's terror.
Wow.
I'll read again. It says, what does incontinency mean?
Ooh.
It says bullet point 1, having or showing self-restraint or control. Number 2, unable to control keeping urine or feces in the body.
Wow. That shit.
Exactly. Don't
That's
be terrified. That's a true terror, man. Your bowels, because that's what happens when you're near death. You know, fight or flight. You start releasing, because you're in a fight or flight mode, man. So that's how it's gonna be on the earth, man. People can't control their bowels. That's Jeremiah 30 right there, man. I see a man face pale, you know, looking like a damn ghost, screaming like a woman in travail.
Yeah. Or it's even videos. There's videos of Jake getting jumped or somebody getting beat and they end up using the bathroom on themselves. They get beat up because they be so scared, you know, and they getting whooped on. You know, or some like, damn, he just pissed himself. But y'all was talking about men invading one another. In a way, those people in DC is getting invaded. By, on a different level, you know, but those individuals, those Jake and DC getting invaded by Esau Edom.
If you go to 16, start to like 17.
You know?
Okay. Because Second Esdras 15, we'll start down at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein."
Yeah, woe to the world, right? It's really talking about Israel, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, because the time, huh? Yeah. Right here? Yeah. It's live on the other corner. That's where they at. But
This Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14. The world and them that dwell therein. Yeah, woe means destruction.
Yep.
You know, and woe, why? Because if you're iniquity, man, you're evil. You know, you think the Lord again, he's just chilling, man. Lord up there in the lazy boy, he just looking on earth like, man, whatever, y'all can do the fuck y'all want to do. I ain't mad, I don't care. You know? No, man, the Lord's taking it personal. Because why? Because on the line, man. You know, we think about the creator of the heavens and the earth. It's him, you know? The Alahayim, the judges, again, the righteous order, man, the angels. You know? And again, you have man on the earth effing it all up, man, in a short amount of window of time, man. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if he didn't return, right, no flesh should be saved, man. You know? If he didn't come to save the elect, left that remnant, there'll be nothing left on earth to save, man. This place will be literally done in by itself. It'll cave in. If this wickedness on the earth can't sustain itself for too much longer, man. The earth's crying out. Here it is. As we speak right now, there's a Category 5 hurricane off the coast of the Atlantic. You know, was it Hurricane Aaron or something like that? You know?
They talk about 100-foot wave.
You know, how quick this stuff is speeding up, these storms. You know, a couple days ago, it's just regular storm. And, you know, regular storm. In 3 days, it's just a Category 5.
Right.
That's the strongest category you can get, man. And everybody, oh, Category 5, you know, it's normal until it hits you, man. Until you feel what a Category 5 is, man. You know, because that's that virgin, you know, Babylon the Great, and never been touched. People have that complacency mentality, man. But here in the Middle East, I mean, shit, you wake up, you hear shells going off, the whole house shaking. You know, you can't imagine them trying to get a nice rest over there in the land of Gaza, the Gaza Strip, man. Getting bombarded with bombs. That's their culture, man. Going around, the whole shit is just gray. Everything's smoke and burnt, you know, soot. Missing arms and uncle, everybody in this bitch dead. You know.
And the people that's alive starving. Yeah, and it's videos surfacing on the internet of the people trying to get to aid, but the this IDF defense, whatever, they shooting, toying with the people so they can't get to the aid. You know? They're not even shooting to kill. They shooting to toy with them to prevent them from getting to it.
Yep. And the first thing about it too is, you know, we can say, you know, on the surface level, those are heathen. But hey, man, let's have some depth, man. Them Israelites over there too, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's the apple of the Lord's eye. You talking about Jacob's trouble? Them niggas in Jacob's trouble, man. A lot of our people, again, they over there in the Middle East too. They just look like, you know, Ishmael or whatever the people that are ruling that place is looking like, man.
It makes you think about Revelation, the 6th chapter. You know, he took peace from the earth.
That's it.
You know, he took peace not just from us, but from all these nations, man. And like you said, you know, our people are mixed among them. Look what happened with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. You know, he took peace away from Ammon. You know,
Yep.
Everyone has a history of Esau bullying them, man.
realize.
Yeah.
You go before and after shots of when Esau came, it's always worse. You know, you talk about so-called America, it's a shithole now, but this place was paradise, man.
Yeah.
Hey, when you see them videos of Gaza before this,
Before and after, right?
yeah, before after, yeah, it was palm trees. It looked nice. Strip.
Yeah.
It was buildings. It looked like a nice. It looked like a nice city. A nice hot city. But that's just rubble.
It makes you think, you know, yeah, how about you on Charlotte? Like, there was wickedness going on. Can you imagine the amount of wickedness that was going on there? You know what I'm saying? Hey. So let's get back to that second address.
Yep, there's 2 Esdras 15 and verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Yeah, and you know, it's very things about Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. People can hear these scriptures and be like, yeah, you know what? Because my own brother told me, you know, but it's not gonna happen in our lifetime. You a fool. You ain't watching. You're not paying attention to what's going on in the earth, man. You know.
I ain't got to worry about it. That's gonna be with my kids.
Yeah, they got to deal with that.
Or when they kids.
Yeah. It's happening right now before your very eyes, man.
And what it is, these people, they don't want it to happen during their life. That's why they want to try to prolong it. That's why they want the days to be prolonged, you know, and say the evil days come not.
Right.
So they could live out their life and fulfill the lust of the flesh thereof, you know, and pretty much not live with worries. Because knowing the truth and knowing the understanding prophecies, you know that this isn't the time of peace. You know, and this is the time of troubles and evils and bad times, which we looking forward to, because the sooner these prophecies come to pass and the sooner this destruction comes, the sooner we go be in the kingdom of heaven, and the sooner we go be at peace, because that's what we want. We want peace. We want immortality. We want eternal life. But this wicked, sinful kingdom and society being prolonged means our suffering is going to be prolonged. Our pain is going to be prolonged. And we don't want that.
There's Amos 9, verse 10. All the by the sword, which say, not overtake nor prevent us. So I read in the NLT, Amos 9 and 10 in the NLT. But all the sinners will die by the sword, all those who say nothing bad would happen to us.
Yep.
That's Jake.
That's Jake. You know? For all this destruction is happening, they don't even consider that the Lord's doing it, for one. And for two, they don't think nothing's going to bad happen to them, man. Everyone thinks that, you know, well, it's the whole thing of you're not going to really until it's at your front door. You know, that's why Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, goes into the snare.
Yeah, no, not the time.
No, not that time, yeah. You know?
Snared in the evil time.
Exactly. And are we not living in the evil times? Yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? You guys, any Jake, what time we living in? Horrible times. We're living at the end. Jake will admit that. You know what I'm saying? But they don't apply it with the scriptures and understand how important this time is to get right with the Heavenly Father through His Son.
3, verse 3. Knowing that there shall come as they scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant.
Yeah, Jake want to be ignorant, man.
Yeah, willingly, yeah.
Yeah, Jake don't give a damn. And Jake feels that way because they haven't been judged, man. Consider the Lord is long suffering. You know? So they think, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, because I can quoted at Ecclesiastes 9th chapter, same with a bird, you know, caught in a snare, you know, or a fish caught in a net. They don't think nothing bad gonna happen to them.
Right.
You know, they see the little thing dangling or whatever. They say, oh, I gotta be a nice little meal, before you know, they get reeled up to the surface, man.
Yep.
You know, they probably thought, you know, have a fish logic work. They go, man, I'm gonna swim down to wherever, you know,
Right.
and congregate over here. But they got grabbed up, man. Plans changed, man. And that's Jake with evil, man. In the car, you know. Taz put it in the chat yesterday. Some dude in the car talking shit. He get clapped. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
Yeah, like they ain't gonna do nothing. And got killed.
Hey, and in previous posts for that on social media, he was saying this is salt, not sugar this way. And things ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. And he was talking about, you know, people sizing him up for his chain and for his jewelry and stuff. And he was talking proud and pretty much talking like he can't be touched. And in the midst of him being proud and talking shit on live for the world to see, he was deleted and unalive. And that was Laura's will for that to happen.
Into their hands, but they accuse me of things I've never done.
Yeah, and what's the accuser of our brethren? Right? You look at that word accuser, at least in the Greek, it goes into a categoreo. You know, so Esau Edom is putting men into categories. You know, rather man is that's that social credit system that he wants to start implementing. You know, the red list, you know, and the black list, you know, all these lists that he has people categorized in whether or not you need to be put into a detention center for some time. And then really, when they put you in those detention centers, you ain't just gonna be, you know, if it's Esau Edom's way, you're gonna be in there working, building robots. You know? And then you can have some people, you know, of course they're gonna be detained like how Jake is now, but in his new world, you know, he ain't just gonna delete you right away, he's gonna have you go and work, you know, until he got no use for you. He's through, he ain't meeting the quota, so get rid of him. You know? So, you wanna say something?
Yeah, once he's done, then he's gonna use your innards. As they like to say, he's gonna take your innards. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know? You know?
And he's gonna use all he can.
Yeah.
He's gonna wring you out.
Or he might recycle you and put you in the food.
Yeah, for real. You're talking about Esau Edom here.
Yeah, you talking about Esau Edom. Shit.
He went to camp. Then they got burgers. Like, where's Lewis at?
You guys getting meat. Yeah, you get.
That was a movie.
Instead of sludge, you guys getting meat today. You getting rewarded.
Was it The Walking Dead, I think?
No, Walking Dead. Yeah. They was like,
that.
because they was looking like, where's all this?
Yeah.
Where all this meat coming from?
Yeah.
You know, they was grilling.
Get your ass act up. They gonna grill you for that.
But you know, the characters they used wisdom was like, hold on, man. They knew what was hold on. All this meat being cooked. We know it ain't meat like that around here like that. Meat was a luxury.
Yeah, food a luxury.
Yeah, food is a luxury.
Okay. Let's finish the Psalms.
There's Psalm 27 and 12 in the NLT. Do not let me fall into their hands, for they accuse me of things I've never done. With every breath, they threaten me with violence.
Yeah, they're gonna create an accusation against those who are fearing the Lord, and those who are coming out here on the highways and hedges. Because what are we gonna do when they make it a law saying you can't submit? Just like how it is in DC now, they're getting it to where it's gonna be a rollout to where it's adapting alligator Alcatraz to where now this city might adapt and Texas might adapt, you know, some type of Alcatraz to where we gotta start, because it's on the state-to-state basis, because states still have their own laws different from the government. So as long as the state agrees to it, that's why when you watch the movie Bushwick, there was like a little rebellion between state to state. So it isn't gonna be. It's going to be a civil thing from state to state, you know?
Was that the one with Dave Bautista when they was in New York City?
Yeah.
That was a dope movie too.
Yeah. Because
that was real.
You want to say something, Mike?
No, I was just thinking, as Isaiah 19, city against city.
Yep.
Egyptian against Egyptian. because that's what Esau, you hear Civil War,
Yep.
because what's happening is, the federal government, they want to federalize these states, man. That's how they're going to be able to be in oneness. With Trump putting the troops in D.C., that's him federalizing D.C., because troops, that's the federal. That's where their funding comes from, So when Trump makes a move like that, that's them ultimately taking over these cities, man. No more sovereignty by your mayors, all them. They don't have no power no more, man. Only the state, whatever they token it, man. Especially when the new currencies roll out, no more using dollars. Because you go back to the states originally, before the dollar was a standard, every state had their own money, man. Every city had their own money. What that makes you think about them cryptocurrencies, man. Until what? Until organized chaos, out of the chaos, organization came, but now you can only use US dollars, man. All them other notes you can't use. So what these states gonna do when you can only use federal tokens, man? Central digital CBDCs. Yep. You can't get no tax dollars. You can't get no funding from the federal government. So you're gonna be on your own, man. And that's how they're gonna issue in these laws, man. M law. It's gonna be forced. There's no vote, no process. Trump doing this shit. He ain't asking nobody.
Over here, he doing it overnight.
Because they're federalizing the United States, man.
Yeah, because wasn't the first from Los Angeles when he sent the national troops in?
Yeah, he got in trouble. So-called trouble for that. Ain't nothing happening.
He sent them in Los Angeles, which that might have been a testing. Yeah, let me see if I can push the limits.
Yeah, but they have things called like something that's unprecedented. So when you do something that's unprecedented, now it could be, well, we have this case right here, and now we have to start examining it if we're going to allow this to be, a thing that is passed into laws and legislations. And he's trying to, because that whole, what was it? What's the nigga's name? Mr. Big Balls? And that's why they have the thing going on in DC right now.
Yeah.
He was a part
Elon Musk.
Elon.
What's that shit?
Yeah, the government efficiency agency.
Yeah.
They were just talking about it all over the damn news. They don't remember shit because our damn brains are zapped.
It be so much shit going on too.
Yeah, but not Elon Musk government agency of efficiency. Okay. There was an acronym.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name is. What was
Doge?
Yeah,
government efficiency.
Government efficiency. Doge. Mr. Big Balls over there.
Yep. And Trump said, y'all better get y'all shit together before we take that over. Because again, that's gonna be everything. Again, everything's gonna be federalized. They want everything central. That's the only way they can make this play work. All these states and voting, Texas, California, they got their own GDPs. They don't so-called need, help from the federal government. Unless the money changes, man.
Yeah, and really the states, a lot of these governors are in league with the new world that's going to come in, because I remember in Florida when they had the lockdowns during the C-19, they said, "Nah, we ain't locking down."
Yeah, the census. Yeah.
Yes, and you see why? Because Trump is, he's really on. There's families behind the scenes that really are arguing and bickering.
Yeah.
And they allow certain things to be, to be reported. They have wars amongst themselves and
Internal warfare.
Internal affairs. Let's look at that.
Yep. Psalm 27 in verse 13 in the NLT. Yet am I confident I will see the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Shai's goodness, while I am here in the land of the living.
And that's what we gotta have confidence in. The Lord ain't just gonna let us die. And
Starve to death.
What are you gonna say?
Like starve to death?
Yeah, starve to death, come under the, get kicked out of society, and then us not being able to go to the grocery store to buy stuff, and being demonized, and not be able to provide for ourselves.
Let me add to you real fast, because the scriptures say, water, food, these are chief things. These are the most important things a person can need for life.
Mm-hmm.
So you think the Lord is not going to let it, what I'm saying? Look out for,
Yeah, exactly.
Scripture said that, Lord, the birds eat every day.
Yep.
Yep. The foxes have holes.
Yeah, because our temptation, they don't got nothing to do with animals. They're gonna be a casualty of war. When you go deep in the jungle, you go to these woods, they're just doing their own thing. They don't know what the fuck going on. They don't care about. They don't hear no Hellcats. Right. Niggas shooting in the corner.
They woke up that morning and ate their everyday program meal.
I don't know, brothers. Remember last week the squirrel was just sitting sitting down, looking at us. Chilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Psalm 27 in verse 14, NOT, it says, wait patiently for the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai.
So we gotta wait patiently for the Lord. So it's gonna be tough. You know, it's tough now. You know, you gotta choose whether or not if you're gonna spend a little bit extra money on your fruits, you know, on your juices, so you can like stay healthy on this side. Cause you really gotta take care of yourself, and you gotta be like, all right, well, F it, Netflix subscription ain't getting paid this month. You know what I mean? Fuck Netflix. I'm not gonna spend an extra $20 on a basket of fruit.
Yep.
So I can keep up with my health.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of the mindset you really gotta be in, because things are already tough now. You got some brothers that walk to work instead of doing Uber. Sorry about that, man. But you know, that's you know, that's what it is.
Yep. That's true.
You wanna say something?
Nah, you just you trim the edges where you can.
Yeah, you gotta trim.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody last night, and we was talking. He basically was saying like, if it ain't beneficial to you, cut it off. You know, like if it's not beneficial to you and it's taken away from you, then just let it go. Just cut it off.
Yeah.
Bad habits, bad spending habits, or anything useless.
Yeah.
Just cut it off.
Yeah. A lot of, you know, people holding on to homes and cars.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff is gonna really trying to hold on to what the little bit you got is really gonna have people merge into this beast system.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's really why people are through. Cause I have a house. I had a dude tell me last night, you know, I'm saving until I get married, and then once I get married.
She gonna take it.
Yeah, that's and then once I get married, then we'll have 2 incomes coming in. I was like, alright, that sounds good. I was like, why you want your woman to work so she can be all stressed out?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got it, but it's like, you didn't serve me.
Exactly.
Get this scripture out. Women, they gonna have to work. We in Babylon.
Yeah, we in Babylon.
But the mindset of getting a new house and so you can, I'm roommating now, but then I'm gonna get a house when I get married. We're gonna have kids. We're both gonna be working. That's a trap.
And the sad part, you know that imaginary woman, what he waiting for, she ain't thinking about this nigga at all.
Exactly.
She dealing with some other nigga.
Right now.
Exactly, as we
And
speak.
he's still daydreaming about her.
Exactly.
And he's like, when I see her, I'ma know. Look at this.
Ecclesiastes chapter 40, verse 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword.
You see, death, bloodshed, strife, fightings. You know, the sword, weapons of war being used. Go ahead.
Calamities.
Calamities. A calamity is like what you see happening in DC right now. All of a sudden, you got troops, you know, raiding your streets, raiding your cities.
Did you hear what the black one was going into? Y'all need to stand up and, you know.
Oh yeah. Everybody tired of the Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, I always say that's somebody's mama.
I was I mentioned that earlier. You got Jay coming out saying, where are you thugs and gangsters at now?
That's that
You know,
Where the YNs
yeah. You talking about such and such got to check in.
Yeah.
The block yours, the project's yours, this your HUD, this, that, and the third. Now you getting ran down on by your oppressors and you running with your tail tucked.
That's right.
And with no resistance. At the most, you go see Jake talking shit and recording, but that's about it.
Call of Duty.
But that one Jake say, it's my birthday. It's my birthday.
What the fuck? And Jake's so simple. Them blocks ain't yours.
Right.
Them projects ain't yours. That hood ain't yours. If anything, that's just a trap. Edom want you there so he could confine you in one area and keep you at a low estate and keep you oppressed. And you want to sit there and have pride over it's like being thrown in the dumpster and this is my dumpster.
That's black culture.
Yeah, this is my dumpster.
Yeah,
Nah, I don't want you on that side of the dumpster. That's my side. This is garbage. It's death. Calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge.
Yep. Scourge. It said famine. It said famine. I said famine. It said famine. You know, death. You know, all. And it said the scourge. Scourge are those spiritual whippings. You know, the Most High.
Old school.
You know, is very.
Old school.
The Most High is very patient. You know, the Most High, he'll turn that water in the, you know, you have the pot and the water, the frog and the water pot. He'll turn that water up nice, and you start feeling that heat. But Jake's still thinking good. You know, until it starts boiling, and now you're done. You know, you get all the frog gets all dried up. You know, Jake is really not seeing that the Most High has Jake in this horrible situation. But you hear somebody talk about, you know, I want to get some money so I can travel, do some vacation. That's living. You know, freedom is, you know, I get freedom, right? But you never really, and then I would say, would you leave America? I don't think I would leave America. But if I had money, I'd be all right. What do you mean? You make $1 million. They tax 40 to 50%. So did you really make $1 million?
Right. Hey, look at the passport bros. Even they go and they come back. Yeah. They want to bring, you know, that woman back, but you know, they don't want to leave America.
Yeah, they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And that's a cultural difference. But keep reading now.
These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood.
These things that we just read about were all created for the wicked. So the sword that's coming, the famine that's coming, the different calamities. Remember that was 2 Ezra 8:50. The different calamities that's coming. All these things are created for the wicked of our people, and those who are righteous are, you know, you have the righteous and the wicked. It's that simple. Our righteousness is not of ourselves; is of the Lord. You know, so yeah, you do have righteous men on the earth upholding the standard of righteousness. It ain't the ISUPK. It ain't the Genesis boys, you know. It ain't Watchmen for Israel, IUIC, you know.
It ain't gang banging Alizé.
Hoover
A-Tray Hoover Crit.
You know.
If I may, brother, Hoover Street is named after your old president. You know what I'm saying? It's named after what is it? Ellen Agger Hoover.
Ellen Agger,
He might.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 18. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 18. It says, "It is good that thou shouldest take hold of this, also from this withdraw not thy hand."
7:19.
7.
It's Slakia, verse 19.
Okay, fine. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 19. "Wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men, which are in the city."
Yeah, so mighty men, you know, 10, you have a small little city. Well, you see it now. Over there, Trump is really over with a small little garrison, taking over the hood. With a small garrison.
Yeah, a small troop. Easy, flawless victory. Flawless.
You know, that little garrison he got when it took over the whole block. Ain't nobody gonna be bucking up against the authorities. What's going on? You know? That small little garrison that's been set up is strong. You see it. But wisdom strengthened us more than those 10 mighty men that are in the city. Right? Yep. Because wisdom is better than weapons of war.
That's right.
You know?
And you know who showed us that the most? Esau. The serpent.
You know, he dealt with wisdom because we were smarter, stronger, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Lord was with him on it, but you know.
Yeah, he dealt with subtlety.
Yeah.
Because really, there's supposed to be an honor in war. You know, men fight against men.
Yep.
Men protect. You know what you really fighting for. If you ain't fighting for, you know, your wife, your kids, and your country. You know.
That's when it was a thing such called as an honorable death. You know, you dying for something. You dying for morale. You dying for integrity. You dying for honor. You dying for your people. You dying for your family. You dying for your nation.
Your king.
You're dying for your king. You know. And Esau Edom used wisdom because it got to a point he didn't even need to use carnal physical weapons. He started using spiritual and mental weapons on Jake. Because Jake is spiritually and mentally defeated. They don't need to get a whip across their back. They don't need to get a foot up their behind no more. You know, they could get defeated mentally. Because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know, and the mind is a powerful thing. And it's a saying, they say knowledge is power and applied knowledge is freedom. And Esau Edom makes sure that the nation of Israel, they don't obtain the knowledge that they need. And what's one of the main sayings? The best way to hide something from a nigga is to put it in a book. You know? It's gonna say, blessed is he that readeth. You know? Increaseth the knowledge, wisdom and understanding. You know, because now it's power. It's power in it. He asked this, yes.
Second Ezra 8:50.
Yeah, 8:50.
Bring that up.
Oh, you want?
You got it, bro. Read it.
It's the book of 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world."
So many miseries, many great miseries, and that's what you see happening. You know, we're already in those time of miseries to where, you know, I forgot where exactly it was, where a recent flood, but they were saying that they shut off the valves to drain the water. They shut off the valves, and that's why, you know, everything was they shut off the valves, and that's why everything was so uptight. You know, and everything was shut down. You know, everything was flooded. Slocky, that's what I meant to say. I lost my train of thought. Everything was flooding. You know, you had cars flooded. You know, so, you know, great misery is the Most High. Get Psalms 17 and 13. I believe 17, 13. Deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. It might be 14. 17. Okay, 17, 13. Read it again.
It's the book of 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride."
Yet many great miseries shall happen to them in the latter time, because they have walked in great pride. So great pride has fallen upon many of our people, right? And that's why they're such in a pitiful case here in these last days. And it's only going to get worse, because when you're, you know, when you're proud, you think, that's all right, I'm gonna figure it out. I got it. Like a nigga trying to build a whole kitchen set with no playbook. You know, trying to build a table, you don't know what the screws are. Or imagine like trying to solve a puzzle without the damn picture, you know, for reference. That's basically the situation Jake is in. You know, a horrible case, and the Most High is gonna put him in predicaments that you can't get out of. You're already in the You're already in the predicament that you can't get out of. You know, it's always something. You know, I was gonna start investing this week. There's always something. You know, my woman needs that money. That's how Jake be. You know, well, what situation? You go to work every day. You come home. Why can't you afford anything? Because you're in a trap. You're in a system. You're in a pit. And the Most High has this system set up, you know, via the powers that be, so you can't get out of it.
I was talking to somebody from the Northern Kingdom. You know, they don't even got their paper, and they complaining, talking about like why, you know, like they work so expensive and they got to work overtime. Then she like, at the end, why? Like, what for? You know, it's like when you die, it's nothing. When you die, that's it. You know, you sitting there running yourself into the dirt to struggle and live paycheck to paycheck because they make cost of living unaffordable. So now you got to work every day or run yourself into the dirt just to survive. And that's not life. That's not living.
Yep, that's right. You got precept. Well, brother said he got a precept, and you can grab yours after that.
This 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
That's right. The plagues are sent. You know, what verse was that? Verse 14. You know, so we're seeing the plagues of destruction. I mean, the plagues of famine, the plagues of calamities, you know, being sent. And the ultimate plague is going to be nuclear destruction. So the Most High is sending these plagues on the earth here in these last days. And it's a buildup. Come today, not tomorrow, but today. He can really come today and beam Jacob, have the missiles get shot off, you know, kumbaya, bye Babylon, in one night. He that today is a king, tomorrow shall die. You know, which that is going to happen, right? But all in the Lord Yahweh Shemashai's time, on his time horizon. He does not stir nor move them until the said measures be fulfilled, right? So the plagues are being sent right now. That was it, right?
Yeah.
Give me precept, bro.
No. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 12. It says, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Yeah, so you begin living a life of pride when your heart, when your mind is turned away. The Most High is not in any of your thoughts. You know, because really, when you pray, that's you humbling yourself, right? You humble yourself, you pray, because you're acknowledging that a higher power, someone stronger than you, someone stronger than your muscles, someone stronger than your self-will, your determination, your discipline, has control over your life, right? Has how everything happens, whether or not you're gonna get called in to the job and get fired that day. You know, they had a council about you. You know, we gonna let him go? Nah, we ain't gonna let him go. You know, because the Most High, just as he did Pharaoh, turned the hearts of men, right? You got somebody plotting on you at the job. You know, you got Eve trying to put you on the child support. All these things, you gotta understand the Most High is in control of everything. Whether or not, you know, you drive down the road and you see 144, you like, dang, I didn't, you know. I was talking to customer service and they had sent me a pin, you know, to get into my account number 441. You know what I mean?
Hey, but I was just telling this brother in the car on the way here. A road that I usually take was closed, so I was rerouted to go by a road I don't go down. And I came across and I was thinking and I randomly looked to my right and there was a big ass sign on the building that said he's coming. That wasn't no coincidence. That wasn't random. Cause for one, I got rerouted to a road I don't go to. And second, I was already in thought, riding in silence, and then I randomly looked to my right and it says he's coming. Like it was like something out of a movie scene. When you see the judgment is nigh or he's coming or a script, like it was like big bold letters on the wall, he's coming, and that was all that was written on the wall.
Everybody knew who's coming.
Yeah. You read that, you already knew what it meant.
Yeah, the people of the world know the end is here, but the thing is, how do you prepare for the end of the world? And we're here to give our people that understanding, how a man can prepare for the end of the world, for the return of Yahweh Shai. The heavenly Yahweh Shai said, no man come unto the Father but by me. Right? So he said, look, when the Heavenly Father sends me, I'm coming to do his will, but if you want to be caught in his good graces, You know, because Jake at the job, he always talking about damn Jesus Christ. And we said Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, you already in the kingdom. I'd be like, yo, Jake, bro. You know, yeah, yo. Like, yo, yeah. It's people coming. Let's talk right now. Let's go ahead, bro.
This the book of Sirach, chapter 10, in verse 18. Verse 13 says, "For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination."
Yep. So he that has sin, he that oversteps the boundaries of, you know, that's been set by Yahweh, by Shema Shai, because that's what that word transgression means. This means to overstep the boundaries and the guidelines that has been laid out for us. That's why the kingdom of heaven is likened to a fire on one side and on the other side a deep water. You know, a straight and narrow path, and you can't get distracted. You know, because you driving down the road and you looking, you know, you run off the road. You looking off to the side, you riding with a brother or somebody, hey, look at that. I don't look. I gotta keep my eyes on the road. The only thing I'm looking at is this bumper in front of me. You know?
You know, some of these roads around here is super narrow. In a slight turn, you could end up in a ditch.
Yep.
Or hit somebody's mailbox or whatever.
Yep. Go ahead.
It says, this book of Sirach 10 and verse 13, it says, "For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination."
So he that hath pride shall pour out abomination. Abomination are wicked and filthy acts. Filthy, disgusting acts. Right? So, and what has to be judged? You think the Most High is going to look at your acts, your actions, and be like, yeah, I'm well pleased with that? No, the Most High's eyes are too holy to behold wickedness. That's why even us, our righteousness is as filthy rags, but we're trying. And we're covered by the blood of the Lamb, first and foremost. But you got, "Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in all the earth?" Like, who you think that's talking about today? It ain't the ISUPK. It ain't the leadership in the ISUPK. You know, General Yohana getting out the truck, drunk as hell. Where the white women at? Where the hoes at? You know, where the hoes at? You know, that type of spirit. You know, drunk as hell. You think you about to see a top man in Israel? The nigga drunk. He should have stayed in his ass home. You're gonna be that pissy drunk. You know, you look bad around your men. IUIC, a bunch of women don't come out and talk about the wickedness y'all going in. You got niggas sending penis pictures to the wife of the dude sitting right next to you. Go to the bathroom. You sitting right next to the man's wife burning. You know? Let me go.
Man.
That should be a turn off. Why you want another man's woman? Like the other apostle Ricasa, you want a sandwich that's been bitten off of? Like, hey, you want this sandwich? No, I don't want that sandwich. You should have cut the bitch first.
Right.
You know? You put your hands all on it.
Right.
Slob on it.
But we all dealt with another man's woman for the most part.
Yeah, this is a wicked and indulgent
Yeah,
generation.
exactly. But when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you changed the bun at least. The saliva still on that bitch. Yeah, bros. You know, we through our hair, but no, that's you supposed to. We ain't dealt with another man's woman. She been with him. Scripture say, sit not at all with another man's woman. Drink not at the wine with her. Hold her not in your hands. You know, that don't mean like my family members, cousins. You know, his girl a hug. You know, give him a little side hug.
Yeah.
You know, cause damn, it's a woman touching you.
Yep.
She feel good. Goddamn.
They hit you with a sob story. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You like,
What's wrong with your cousin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to ask him. I don't even know how you got my number. I don't even got your number saved.
Right.
So, goddamn.
It says, it's a little bit more. It says, "And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly."
Yeah, those strange calamities. The Most High utterly is going to overthrow them. You know, to a point of desolation, a point of not being able to rebuild. You know, everything they've been working for is going to be taken away. There isn't going to be a chance for you to get that house.
Yeah.
You know, everybody talking about interest rates going down. Well, what do you interest rates, going down to low to 2-3%. Now people can refinance. People are just gonna refinance their homes.
Yep.
People aren't gonna buy new ones. People can afford a home.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't afford a home. So people who have homes, they're either gonna go get their second home and turn the one that they have into a rental property.
It's gonna pay for the one they're in now.
Yep. Or you're gonna have big money come up and buy whatever on the market
Yep.
at a better interest rate to them. So
BlackRock.
yeah, BlackRock.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. They and there's 3 companies in Atlanta that own like 80 to 90% of the homes that are for sale in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then so it's all a play. And you got a lot of people who have homes, who are selling homes, and then moving into apartments. Because I can say this home is really appreciated last 5 years. I'm gonna cash out because I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. But now I got this $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 savings account. Now I can go to work, do my little vacations here, and before they know it, in 10 years, if we were even here, that money's gonna be gone because it's depreciating asset. The real money is the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai. Right? Let's get that Psalm 17.
This is Psalm chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Arise, O Lord. That's what we ask. That's our prayer. That's what we're praying for the Lord to do, to arise. Because our power is a power that loves to execute righteousness upon the earth. So if righteousness isn't really being implemented and the wickedness have their chance to rule, that means the Most High is just sitting back and letting it happen, until the said measures be fulfilled. Until the Most High is allowing Esau to build up a tab to be worthy of nuclear destruction, to be worthy of a memorial that's going to be on forever. That's what we gotta understand. The Most High is allowing this man to build up this tab. We're still in Operation Warp Speed. That's the spirit that we're still in. We're still in Operation Warp Speed. Things are happening fast on the earth. So we're asking the Lord to arise, disappoint him, cast this man down. He is being cast down. I beheld Satan as it were, lightning being cast down to the ground.
Right.
Trump they might give this man the Nobel Peace Prize. All these peace treaties, peace and safety. Meanwhile, he's just getting these nations in order about this NWO. That's really what's going on behind the scenes.
Lining them up.
This is what we require. This is what we're going to need from you. This is the plan. Because why don't we, the people who vote for these leaders to be in office, why don't we see what's going on? Why don't we get to talk? And it's all a stage. It's all scripted. You have the reporters yelling at Putin. Man, they cut the camera, turn that bitch back on, and start yelling at him.
Yeah.
And yell at Putin. He's like, this is funny. I can't hear you. It's all a joke because he knows it's like, damn, this is how they do it in America. They got the people deceived like this. So it's all BS, bro. We gotta get up out of here. The wicked, the sword that he's been given, nobody can escape that unless you got Yahweh Shema Shai on your side.
Right. Oh, you got that precept? Yeah.
12. This is gonna be my last one. Yeah.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 29. It says, or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house?
Start at the third.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 28. It says, but if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom of the Most High is coming to you.
That's right. So if I cast out devils, you know, by the Spirit of the Most High, then the authority that Yahweh Shai has come onto you, right? Yahweh Shai had a high level of authority when he was on the earth, being able to overcome, you know, to dictate what happens on the earth, and that's the power that's going to be fully implemented in the kingdom of heaven, right? So the power to cast devils down. Esau, Edom, he's that main the deceiver that's going to be cast down. You know, I need more of those. Keep going.
It's the book of Matthew 12 and verse 29. It says, or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man?
You see, at least he first bind the strong man. And that's that's what happened. The goods, you know, of men have been spoiled because Esau Edom has bind you to this system. You know, you're trapped in your mind to want to be a part of this system. You know, and that's why your goods are being spoiled and are going to continue to be spoiled until he just offs you. You know, until he has no more use for you. Any more?
It's the book of Matthew 12 and 29 says, or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
And then he shall spoil his house. What does the scripture say? Your wives shall be ravished. You know, all these calamities that are coming, everything you've been fighting for is going to be, you know, dismantled, taken out of the way. It ain't gonna lead to anything that's beneficial.
Everything you work so hard for will come to naught.
Yeah, everything you work so hard for is gonna come to naught. Alright, so now let the next verse come up and speak. Think about it.
Ain't no talking about.
This is, I got some. You want to get Isaiah 54?
You think it's at a good percentage now?
I'm tired.
Nah. Grass not drink. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Just hold on to it though.
Like off the phone.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and verse 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Yeah, what is a woe? Woe again being destruction, but more so go into these world wars. You know, World War II is past the second woe, which, you know, if you go into that history, you know, you go into the New Deal and, you know, the monetary system changing. So-called America becoming a powerhouse. Again, the monetary system changing, the Bretton Woods Agreement. You know, war is always about money and resources. So when these nations are getting up for war, they're not in a mentality like how niggas think, you know, oh, we're going to war over this block or whatever. No, they want control over resources, man, and influence. So again, the third world coming quickly, going to how this war is going to be ushered, right? It's fifth generation warfare, man. No more mano y mano, you know, you getting your ranks and my best warrior. You watch some old movies. That's all long gone, man. Now everything is digitized, man. You got auto flying planes. You got, you know, what they call them drones, unmanned drones. You know, fighter jets. You got army of robots. You know. So again, more so going to the third war, how this gonna be fought. Get that in Isaiah 9. Yeah. This shall be fought with burning and fuel fire. Isaiah 9 and 5. I got something.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yeah, so again, going to ancient warfare, you know, my granddad was over, you know, a couple days ago. They love watching Roman shit, you know, which, you know, that's Jake, you You know, but he said when they were fighting, they used to fight like men back then.
Yeah.
You know, which is true, man. You have to have guts to go on the battlefield. You know, to deal a man and look face to face, right? And put the knife through him, man. You know, it's a different mentality. Then now you can shoot somebody from however many meters away, man. Coward, yeah. Don't say it's no psychological factor behind it, man. You pulling a trigger on the button. You know, that's why again with these airstrikes, it's nothing personal. They flying over, they just dropping bombs on people, man. You know, but ancient warfare, you know, it was organized chaos, so to say, clashing, grunting, you know, war cries, horns, you know, women wailing, screaming, children screaming, you know, commands from, you know, commanders and stuff, man. That's ancient warfare, man. Garments rolled in blood because, again, you were up close and personal, man, you know. But now, it says, this shall be fought with burning and fuel of fire, again, going to 5th generation warfare, and more specifically going to this missile technology, you know, how quick this war is going to be played out, man. It's not going to be no drawn out, you know, 5-year, 10-year, 15-year war, man. This is going to be, you know, maybe weeks tops, you know, especially after the MOTB is made mandatory. World War III is full pledge, you know, because they're not going to say, hey, we're in World War III, right? But when these nations, they're making moves, you know, politics, policies, you know, tariffs, that's war, man. It's just going to transition eventually to something physical. That's the last thing they want to do on the plate because they know that's going to fuck up the money. That's ultimately what the Lord going to push these nations to do because they don't want war, man. Because, you know, as far as the devastation that's coming, because they want to keep the shit flowing, man. But it's going to, as the Lord, we read earlier about him disappointing the wicked, man. You know, something's going to happen where shit going to go haywire. And how these elites run into bunkers, man. AI glitches or something. AI send an arsenal of missiles on accident.
Right.
It's something like that, man. The Lord put the spirit on these algorithms, man. These robots. You seen our robot, motherfucker turn red. You know, he glitched out. And the whole shit go haywire. That's what the Lord could do, man. Again, going to how this world gonna be fought, man. It's gonna be quick, right? Going to these missiles. That's all.
Yep, I got you. This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that boils the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for its work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Yep, and the smith is a creator of weapons of war, man. You know, in ancient, you know, you bang it out, you know, blacksmith, make you a nice little sword, you know. But now you got gunsmiths, you know, you got manufacturers, you know, Glock, you know, Smith & Wesson, you name it, man. Gunsmith, you know. But again, the smith that we're talking about is these missiles, man. The Lockheed Martins, you know. These government contractors, Raytheon, that make these missiles, man. You know, in these manufacturing plants. Because why? Because it's the instrument of the Lord's work. What is the instrument? It's a tool, man. Same way when you got to sign something, you use a pen. When we want to bring destruction, the Lord got the missiles, man. And he put the spirit on these scientists to do so, man. We always go into it, man. You know, Oppenheimer, that project, Operation Paperclip, taking them German scientists and bringing them to America.
Yep.
You know, creating these atomic bomb programs. So now where you got nuclear bombs, man. Hypersonic, you know. So now the delivery system is advanced. You know, because they had the whole concept of nuclear fission and clashing, you know, particles to make a big explosion, but they didn't have the technology to deliver it, man. That's why you go into World War II, little boy, fat man, something like that.
Fat man movement.
Yeah, that was a free fall bomb.
Yep.
That's why they had to fly that plane to drop that heavy ass bomb. But now you don't gotta do that no more, man.
Right.
You got silos that got delivery systems that can go intercontinental, man. You know, in minutes tops. You know, because again, this is the instrument of the Lord's work to make a speedy riddance of the wicked, man. When the Lord said He's gonna brush this place out with the besom of destruction, that's what that is, man. The Lord ain't gonna drag His feet, you know, when it comes to destruction. It's suddenly, man. And what can do that today, man, is these missiles, man, which is in the scriptures, man. So yeah, second one.
This is Joel 3:9.
Yep.
It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men.
Yep.
Let all the men of war draw near.
Yep, and that's the spirit of the earth now, man. Ain't no more laying back, you know, chilling in army reserves. You scared to get your number called now.
Right.
All the shit that's going on around the world. Because that scripture say the Lord mustered the host of the battle. It's not a time of peace. That's Ecclesiastes 3.
Yep.
It's a time of war. And these nations, they're putting all their GDP into military defense to protect themselves from what's coming. You know, they don't care about the infrastructure, the roads, man. fucking cracked up everywhere. You got cones, shit been worked on for 5 years, and it looked this goddamn same.
Right.
Been a 2-lane highway for how long? Because why? Because these nations, they're putting their money, from the state level, from the county level, you know, to the national level. They're putting their money in defense, man, because it's a time of war, man. You know, it's a time of evil. And again, that's what the nations are focusing on, because this is the vibration the Lord's bringing. War, man.
Yep.
Again, it's that third world. Go ahead.
It's like, it says, you finish your statement?
Yeah, that's what's the third world.
Come. It says, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Yep, and that's what's happened over process of time. The prime example is China. China was an agricultural-based country. They didn't have no military like that. You know, as far as we can see now, industrialized and modernized. They didn't have, you know, cruise, what are they called, super carriers.
Right.
You know, the big, you know, ships that go around the earth as their own goddamn city. You know, naval bases, you know, in the sea. Jets, you know, they didn't have that stuff, man.
Right.
But now they're saying we're strong because why? Because they have the same technology that's going to usher in this WW3, man.
Yep.
You know, missiles. You know, they don't care. I mean, you got ground troop and stuff, of course. You got standing army. You know, you got people to protect, you know, the actual land. You know, we got National Guards, Coast Guards. You know, but more so specifically, again, the nations they're putting their money in weapon technology, more so these missiles. Because that does way more damage, man. You know how much time it takes to gather up and muster up a troop, to debrief them, to get them ready for the deployment, all the money and time and timing it takes to do so, when all you gotta do is put some coordinates in and send a message. That's what's happening, man. And that's what's getting ready to happen, man. You know, what?
Yep, Joel chapter 3, verse 11 says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Yep.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
Yep.
Come get you down, for the press is full, vats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
So going into timing, man.
Yep.
The Lord's letting it build up. So what? Now it's time to harvest. Now it's time for these prophecies to give fruit.
Yep.
You know? So again, these nations are getting awakened, man. They're being gathered, all right, to do what? To be over there, led to the Middle East, all right, to fight in this great conflict known as WW3, man. Third world going through scriptures, man. And it's all for what? The controversy of Zion, because these are heathen wars, man.
Yeah.
These aren't our wars. You got Jake and these armies, but that's not us, man. You're fighting on the behalf of your country, which is not the nation of Israel, all right? The true nation of Israel, not the Israelis, right? The little hat people, man.
Yeah. This is the fight our people supposed to be on, man. Like Pastor Hart said, it should be a million camps, something like that he said. You know, Jake, you know, out here preaching this word, you know. But nah, our people don't see the treasure in what we're doing. They don't see the payoff. They don't see the benefit. You see it in Esau, right? Somewhat, you know.
Yep. Yeah, and the funny part is, you know, you trying to avoid it. You know, saying I don't want nothing to do with that. You look at stuff in the news, or that's over there in that land. You know, concerning Palestine, all that. The most you'll do is march around and shit. You know, but best believe, again, when the numbers are low and the shit looking crazy, it's gonna be a draft issue, man. And a lot of you idle jakes, you know, that have been playing the fence, playing around, you gonna get that mail in your mailbox saying you've been selected for selective service, man. You know, they're stretching the age back, you know, to a little bit older. So you're not out the free cuss either, man. And they're gonna send you over there to the Middle East to fight their conflict, man. Because why? Because you chose not to fear of Yahweh Shah. You want to live in this place and forward it. You want to make all the money, you know, and be in the cut, get your little house, you know. All that's gonna be disruptive, man. Because again, the Lord's not dealing with comfortable, especially in these last days, man. He's making you uncomfortable to wake your ass up, man. But again, for a lot of our people, they're gonna fall victim to what's going to happen because they chose not to fear of Yahweh Shah.
I saw a brother I saw his film, but I didn't get a chance to watch the video about about the YNs about the drafted off. So maybe it might be something where they're about to reissue this draft again.
Yes, possibly.
You know?
Yep.
And that would be great. The Lord, you know, gather all these YNs from these cities.
They want to do something.
Put them on the battlefield, man.
Yep. And if you refuse, guess where you're going?
Right.
You're you go in a concentration camp. You're gonna do something. You're gonna cartridge bullets. You know, you're gonna wash the truck. You're gonna do something, man. Because again, this is the evil time that we warned you about, man. From our Apostle Nails on down, man. It says, you know, the young men shall die in the wars.
Yep.
You know, women
It has to
crying.
be wars. It's like, you know?
Exactly,
It has
bro.
to be wars.
It has to be. When Yahushua said there shall be wars and rumors of wars, you don't think that involves you? I'm talking about a world war,
Right.
not some isolated event, man. I'm talking about a world war where there's superpowers involved, man. Russia, which according to prophecy is God, you know, which is gonna what? Usher in, you know, this thing, man. You know?
They ain't block wars. You know?
Yeah, it ain't that, man. Colors and shit. Oh, you got what color you got, nigga?
They got too much red on.
Right. Let me hold that, you know? That's Jake, man.
Yeah. I got some. Oh, come on, verse. Okay, so, yeah. I was just waiting for this to go on here.
I mean, that's the thing with the Lord's judgment. It's quick, man.
Yeah.
Remember, when Jake got amnesia, how this whole seabed thing played out, man. That shit moved quick. You heard it was, end of 2019, over there in Wuhan. You said that's them niggas. They ain't nothing. That shit came right over. All it takes is one nigga to get on the plane, man.
Yep.
And now everybody bugging out.
Yep.
It's always in the movies, man. It starts small. It's called Patient Zero. And all these contagion movies, man.
Yep.
It take one motherfucker that's sick as hell to make the whole world fucked up. You know? Which that was a whole psyop in itself. But that's how quick things change, man. And again, we're in a time of, again, a world war, great deception, this devil's NWO. He got all the cards on the table, man. You know? The enough is enough Illuminati card getting played with Trump screaming on that bitch. You know? Because it's the time, again, the Lord prophesied of. It's the day of evil. You know, which Esau is the perfect candidate, man. You know? He ain't letting up on Jake. You know?
Last verse, Joel 3 and 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
So the Lord, He wants us to have it. You don't want peace. Yahushua said, think not that I come to send peace. When the Lord pull up in a what you call ignorantly UFO, He's coming to conquer.
Right.
He's not coming to hang out, or where should I park my shit?
Right.
He gonna hover over you and claim what's his, man. He gonna beam up his elect, because these nations, they're getting ready to fight each other, but then eventually they're gonna turn to fight the Lord, man.
Yep.
The 2nd and 13th chapter, Revelation 12 chapter.
Right.
Why there's a space force? Because there's a so-called alien threat, something that's not in my algorithm, something that's not in my control, that I'm afraid of, but I'm not gonna tell you. But what I'm gonna tell you is that they're aliens. They're our enemies. They shouldn't be, It's gonna be how it shied the angels the whole time, man. But again, going to the script of the Lord, we're too far deep for the Lord to say, I was just playing. Or him start backpedaling, the Lord to say, we get this far, y'all got it, man. I was just fucking around. I didn't really mean what I said, man. The Lord said, my word should not return unto me void.
Right.
This is the day the Lord been licking his chops for how long, man? This is his day. This is the day of the Lord. Nowhere else is referring to besides this time, man.
Right.
This has been day of the Lord, days of the Lord. Terrible times, that happened in the past, saw the Lord, but this is the time where he's going to return in the fashion that he's going to return, man. What?
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15.
That's what I think, yeah.
It says, for behold, the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Yep. It's something about fire, man. It's a time of fire, man. And again, the Lord's stirring it up. All the drama, all the stuff happening on the earth. The Lord ain't trying to, diminish shit. He's adding to it, man. With the vision, the uproars, shit going crazy on the earth. Storms, tempests. He said, I do all this, man. Kill, make alive. Wound. Bring back together. It's all Yahweh Basham Shai. And again, when he returns, no one in the scriptures you're gonna find it's gonna be a good time on the earth to be on his bad side. It's like Disneyland.
Right.
Oh, that's you point out like like some cartoon character. Oh, that's Yahweh Shai. Look, guys, let's go see him.
Right.
Like it's Santa Claus. Let's go sit on his lap. No, he said, I'm coming with rebukes of fire, man. A whirlwind. You know? So again, the Lord's not coming in no crucified manner like you've been taught in the so-called Christian churches. He gonna kumbaya you up to the rapture. Then you gonna chill up there. Hell no, man. You know?
I got one last one. Was it one there? Yeah, it was.
Close out 16.
Yeah, it was out there.
Okay, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai shall be many.
Yeah, plead means to judge. So ain't no more talking. You know? Ain't no more politicking. Ain't no more, my hands stretched out still. You know? Come to me and I'll forgive you. Grace and mercy is gone, man. Except for the Lord's elect. You know, the window of repentance, for you to turn back to your power, for him to, to reason and work it out with you, it's over with, man. Because again, this is what is prophesied. And most people are not going to pay attention to it. It's too late. All the stuff happening around you, it's all in the scriptures, man. That's what people say, right? It's biblical proportions, biblical events. But what is that leading to? It's leading to the Lord's return. And again, how he's going to return is a fashion that you never even comprehended, man. He's coming to receive his glory like in the heavens, but here on the earth, man. And that's what it say, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. Right? So, and with that, and Lord's word is edifying. As always, we want to give all praise to the Heavenly Father, to the one begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honor to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessed elect of Israel. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.